Do you ever look back on a particular day which turned your life into something you never thought it could be? I know mine. July 23rd, 2019. Wondering what happened after that? We went to malls, experienced fish spa for freaking $100, went to game centers like kids, saw people eat pizza with a fork and knife, saw people smuggle that very fork from Pizza Hut, decorated rooms with lights on Diwali. Saw people having sugar rush from sweets, we sang together, saw people dance together, tried drawing friends and gave up, tried drawing friends and actually finished. Took an awful lot of photos, had the best birthday of my life, built a freaking drone, bought a guitar which I still can't play, blew shit up in GTA 5, played with puppies a lot, studied for 10 hours straight, spent the whole night at the basketball court wearing a sleeveless t-shirt and I can't even play basketball, worked really hard for the fresh, tried to impress people and failed miserably, made our own mashup and sang it for a friend's birthday, went speedboarding, tried to learn skateboard, went to a lot of night walks, ate a lot of butter chicken while trying to convince our veg friends that the only good option they have is paneer, went for cultural meet at IIT Bombay, bought a gun and used it for all the wrong reasons, pretended doing stuff with an Arduino and a Raspberry Pi and experienced few of the best sunsets of my life. Maybe it doesn't seem that exciting compared to your life and adventures. I, on the other hand, kinda had the best year of my life. Backtracking a little bit, I remember buying a tripod for that tiny whiny YouTube channel I was planning to make. I shot footages of everything I was taking and the whole packing process to make a video later, which I obviously never made. I remember watching my hometown drift away from the back window of my car, and I was so happy about it. I remember it rained that day when we reached the platform, and after a 30-hour train journey from Kolkata, I stepped foot into IIT Hyderabad. I remember someone telling me that no one can prepare for college, one can only try. I didn't understand the full depth of that statement back then. I was aware that a lot of things are gonna change in my life, but I didn't see what was coming next. One thing I had in mind while choosing among the different colleges available, I wanted to go far from my home no matter what. One of the biggest reasons I didn't go to IIT Kharagpur. We boarded the train from Kolkata on July 21st. The journey was long, but I got to see probably the best two sunsets of my life until that point. Rest of the time, I was reading books, chatting with my friends that I had left behind at my hometown, and in solitude wandering out of the window, not really trying to see anything that the world has to offer, but trying to picture the life I was going to have from the next day. Secunderabad was reached on the night of July 22nd, and we stayed at a hotel that night. Being someone who didn't like crowds, especially crowds consist of new people, and being intimidated to even ask for water in a restaurant, I expected myself to be a bit unsettled that night, but surprisingly I wasn't. In reality, I slept peacefully that night. Somehow I wasn't tensed at all. All I could perceive at that moment was this really hollow feeling, almost like a created gap inside me. Maybe it was just relocated after many years. Expected to be filled with something better, something way better the very next day. I woke up before the alarm next day and we took a cab to get to the college. Just like any other IIT Hyderabad was in the outskirts of the city. Maybe I should have been freaking out back then, but I was too busy to locate what was different between Hyderabad and Kolkata. Within an hour or two, we were at the entrance of the college. After going through all the admission procedure, I was allotted the hostel room A421. I was so happy I didn't get 420. My parents helped me set up my room and left in the evening. My room was bigger than I expected and I was pretty happy with it. Now that I look back at it, I was alone for the first time. In a new institute, in a new city. And I still wasn't nervous, except I didn't want to meet new people. Well, I'm going too much in depth at this point. I did spend the first week alone when others were already making friends. The rain was pretty cool at this new place. And because for most of the time I was alone, my favorite hangout was Shiru Cafe. Because why not? You can talk to real Japanese people over there and also have free drinks. I became pretty good friends with the employees over there. We also celebrated one of their birthdays as he was far away from his country on his birthday and we made sure he didn't forget this time. While I wanted to make friends, I wasn't comfortable in English and I barely found anyone speaking Hindi. On the other hand, I was practicing speaking to the camera by myself. Over the next 2-3 weeks or so, I met the most freaking amazing people I could hope to find. I remember how I was introduced to the best friends I have in college right now, and it was just because one of my exams went really bad and I left the hall early. I remember Abhishek first talked to me and said, "तू कौन सा editing software use करता है?" Such a pro level conversation starter, I must say. But when you're broke, you're not picky, if you know what I mean. We bonded better over the next few days, hanging out till dawn at the top of academic blocks and playing stupid games. I mean, I have quite a lot of friends in college, and looking back just 1 year, I had only 2 friends in school and was super scared of talking to girls. Well, probably still am. I'm still not entirely comfortable with meeting new people, but even having this many friends is something my past self would definitely be proud of. If any of you guys are watching this, I truly appreciate you. You guys know who you are. Abhishek and I shared an interest in photography, and we used to do these crazy experiments, and they often resulted in pretty amazing photos. We got ourselves a skateboard as our blood was boiling with enthusiasm back then, but yeah, that didn't go anywhere. I also got my first guitar in college, which is sadly still at college. An ancient wise man never said, "The real college life is experienced only at night." And he was correct. Goofing around at night, chilling outside the canteen, or going for long walks around the campus, all those things are what I'm missing the most about college. We'd often go hang out at each other's rooms. There are puppies in the campus, so we would sometimes go and feed them. Now, talking about academics, they changed a lot. Coming from relentless studying every day during JEE preparation, college life was much easier to handle, at least the academic part. But disclaimer, academics don't get easier as you come to college, nor can you just chill out without worrying about your studies at all. All I said is that it's somehow easier to handle. You'll still find people who are always studying, but you'll also find absolute mad lads who will just study one night and kick everyone in the butt. College teaches you a lot about the outer world, but this whole experience teaches me a lot more about myself. At least that's something I have observed. Just after spending 1 year at college, I feel like I know myself better, both the good and the bad. I find it really hard to deny anyone asking for a favor. I like to take challenges. I'm a typical attention seeker. I seek validation from other people and directly connect it with my self-esteem. And I'm not emotionally as strong as I thought I was. These are things I didn't know about myself before. Although I don't think all these characteristics are good to possess, that's just where I stand at this point of time. I also found out how much I want to cling on to art. I also found that I'm really interested in photography once I was introduced to the photography club of IITH. So do I think IIT was worth all the effort I put in? I'll say yes, but not for the academics, administration, or the opportunities. Now don't get me wrong, all these things at IIT is probably better than majority of the engineering colleges in India. All I'm saying is that what interests me more are the countless night walks, taking dating advice in canteen, all gathering at a mess table, sharing experiences as a community, and also the connections you made. For the first time, you get to be a part of other people's stories and vice versa. Here, literally everyone is freakishly good at something or the other. Everyone is so talented, I get to learn something from everyone. A sense of this can always serve as one's drive to work on a better self, which is one of the major missings of being stuck away from college due to this pandemic. If you're already in college, you might relate to some of this. If you're gonna be joining college soon, you're in for a ride that will knock you off your feet and help you fly at the same time. And in that whole process, you'll be overwhelmed, stressed, nervous, happy, nostalgic, all at the same time. And maybe after a few years, you'll be sitting with someone, looking at a sunrise, and you'll be asking them, do you ever look back on a particular day that turned your life into something you never thought it could be? I know mine.